All Air Transat says it wanted on July 31st was to get its planes to Montreal. Instead, 2 overseas flights sat on the Ottawa tarmac for up to 6 hours. Changing crews, the carrier's director of flight safety testified, would have meant staying in Ottawa.
A reasonable person would conclude we weren't going anywhere that evening.
But it's more what the crew wasn't doing that's in question, getting the airport to deliver food and water, which had run out. In the sweltering heat, they turned off the air conditioning. Babies were crying and one passenger called 911. Why didn't the pilots ask for provisions? They were told over and over they'd be refueled and on their way.
The request for water did not come as well.
The Canadian Transport Agency is overseeing the inquiry into what happened a month ago. On day one, the airport authority placed the blame on the airline and its ground crew. This morning, accusatory fingers were pointed in every direction. The pilots say the ground crew were completely aware they were the 20th plane in line to get refueled.
Did you tell the pilots that this was the situation?
I'm pretty sure they were aware. They have windows. They saw outside and saw the aircraft.
The CTA could issue a substantial fine to Air Transat, but this airline watcher says the hearing is more theater than anything.
They are doing a lot to please the eye, but doing very little to actually please the mind.
The number of complaints against Canadian carriers has increased 6-fold in the last 5 years, with over 1,900 registered last year. But only 3% resulted in some form of action against the airline, including a mere 14 instances where a fine was issued. Air Transat Gabor Lukács says will likely get a slap on the wrist.
There will be no consequences, as far as I can see, at the present time in terms of now what it is that Air Transat, how they will have to pay for it.
Air Transat has already offered $400 to each passenger as compensation. The question now, will the CTA award them more? Mike Drolet, Global News.